Hello everybody, this is your host Travis. Thanks for coming to Tpull's Corner. And today we're having fun with enchantments. During Evergreen Month we showed you the deck Enchanted that was kind of fun. We're going to show you a couple different decks this week that also make good use of enchantments. We started because basically I had a deck where I decided to throw all the planeswalkers I had in my collection into one deck and see if they worked, and I didn't have room for Calyx Destiny's Hand. So I decided that I would make a deck that sort of featured him. And what he can do is, for his +1 ability, he can look at the top 4 cards of your library. If you got an enchantment card, you can reveal it and put it in your hand, and the rest of those cards go to the bottom of your library. For his -3, he exiles a target creature or an enchantment. But in order to do that, how do you put this? You have to have your own enchantment that you control already on the battlefield. Okay, so you exile whatever target creature enchantment you don't control until the target enchantment you control leaves the battlefield. So you can't just slap him down with a blank battlefield and exile. You have to have another enchantment you already control in place. Okay, and then if you lose all your enchantments, then when you get them to 7, you can return all enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. The other card that we have that goes kind of hand in hand with him, we hope, is Cetessan Champion, and she's a 1/3 human warrior with this Constellation ability. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on the champion and draw a card. So there's your draw a card advantage. We also have the Great Henge, of course, if we can get that down to give us whenever a non-token creature enters, we get a +1/+1 and get to draw. And overall, the deck, we have only 13 creatures. The rest is a lot of enchantments, 23 lands. And let's go on through it. We've got Karametra's Blessing to give a creature +2/+2. But if it's an enchanted creature, an enchantment creature, it also gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. So that will come in handy when we have certain creatures like, let's see, where is she? I think she's in here. Here, Destiny Splinter. She's an enchantment creature by herself. So because she's by nature an enchantment, she gets hexproof and indestructible if we play it straight away on her. We have 1 copy of Selfless Savior because there is a lot of removal we have to account for, so we want to protect our Cetessan Champion mostly. So on occasion we'll have the Selfless Savior down and we'll be able to stop that removal. Adventurous Impulse to look at the top 3 cards of our library, get a creature or land as we need. Hopefully this will help keep us from getting stuck for land, and if we have plenty of land we can scry away the land and get a creature instead. We have 2 copies of All That Glitters, so we get +1/+1 for each artifact and or enchantment we control. So the more of those 15 enchantments we put down, the stronger our enchanted creatures are going to be. 3 Pacifism. Normally I like to exile a lot, but you know what? Since the enchantments help us out, the enchantments strengthen All That Glitters, the enchantments give us draw advantage if we have Cetessan Champion out. They give us a place to stick an exiled creature or enchantment with Calyx. So we have pacifisms in there. We've got Swift Response in case they have abilities that still persist and we just can't sanction to keep them on the battlefield. So we have a couple of destruction removal. 1 Rabid Bite. Destiny Spinner. This is also in here in case we come across blue decks because the creature and enchantment spells we control can't be countered. There is a additional power she has. You can pay 3 colorless and 1 green, and any target land that we control becomes an XX elemental creature with both trample and haste, where X is the number of enchantments we control. So if we have 4 enchantments on the field, it becomes a 4/4 creature with trample and haste. That is nice. 1 copy of Rabid Bite, 1 copy of Ram Through, 1 copy of Return to Nature to take off pesky artifacts and enchantments, 1 copy of Cetessan Training so we can give somebody trample and get a draw card. Track Down, it's a little bit similar to Adventurous Impulse in a way, but you get to scry 3, reveal the top card. If it's a creature or land, you draw the card. 1 copy of Conclave Mentor. This is to add counters, so this is really cool to have Conclave Mentor down at the same time as you have Cetessan Champion, because when you add a counter, you get to add 2 instead. Plus, if we pump up the Conclave Mentor at all, and Conclave Mentor we lose, we gain life equal to its power. 1 copy of Mirror Shield. Again, this is mostly creature protection, because we only have 13 creatures. 3 copies of Banishing Light, because as I said, sometimes we just can't stand to have permanents on the battlefield that our enemy controls. 1 copy of Barrier Breach to get rid of their enchantments. 1 copy of Hydra's Growth. This is really fun if you stick it on the Cetessan Champion, and the Conclave Mentor will really cause this thing to grow exponentially. 1 copy of Siona, Captain of the Pyleus, a legendary creature. You get to look at the top 7 cards of your library and reveal an aura card and put it in your hand. Also, whenever you take an aura and control it to attach it to a creature you control, you get to create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. 1 heraldic banner, so we can choose green creatures and give them a +1, and also give us whatever color we want for mana. 2 palladium mirrors, 2/2 creatures that give us 2 colorless mana. And 3 shambling suits that work really well with all that glitters because we get +1s for each artifact we control as well. Remember, shambling suits power is equal to the number of artifacts and or enchantments we control. So whether it's the enchantment or the creature, we're getting bonuses for artifacts and enchantments that we get down on the field. 1 copy of Felidara's Retreat to give us extra creatures because we only have 13. 1 copy of Archon of Sun's Grace. It gives us flying and a little bit of lifelink. And 1 Inspire Awe. I'm not sure if I want to keep this in. It hasn't come up yet, but it prevents all combat damage except that would be dealt by our creatures, right? But that's the normal old one. Okay, this one is prevent all damage except that would be dealt by enchanted creatures and enchantment creatures, and we get to scry too. This can be a bit of a drawback if they are heavy on enchanted creatures or creatures with enchantments on them. Okay, 1 copy of Angelic Reward, sort of help us out against flyers, because we don't have a lot to help us out against flyers, except the removal. 1 copy of Elspeth Conquers Death is kind of to help get our Cetestan champion back when they do kill him. 1 Angelic Guardian, to make all creatures that attack indestructible until end of turn, and my 3rd flyer. And 1 copy of Epic Proportions, that's a flash that gives people +5/+5 and trample, and since it's flash it can be a bit of a surprise, maybe finish off the game. So that's how we're looking. We're gonna play a few rounds, take it out for a spin, see how it goes. In the meantime, don't forget, if you haven't hit the like and subscribe buttons, hit one or both. And here we go. Well, if you're gonna do that, I'm gonna do this. I think we've got time. We'll do the tap land this turn. We're waiting on our opponent to decide to do something. I'm not sure what. I'll just tell him. Otherwise we might be here forever. Okay. Still want to say we have time. Ooh, haste. Okay, they spent a lot of their mana pumping that up, so let's just disappoint them. You want to save your enchantment? You can with All Seed. He's gonna save the enchantment. How about that? He's got another one. Cute. Alright. So let's do this. We've got the dog to protect the champion. What are you gonna go get? Another barbarian class. Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to protect my champion. And attack with my champion. And we need to try and get rid of Allseed because they're going to protect everything. They're building up for their big threat. I don't know why you would need both of those to have hasty creatures when you already have one of them, but maybe they're building in redundancy in case I manage to destroy one of the enchantments at some point. Let's see what else we got coming up here. Okay, I like both of those. So this lets us draw right away. And hopefully they're feeling a little bit of pressure now. Yet another Allseed. We're playing poker. Oh, they just scoop. Okay. Well, I think we had enough interesting stuff to do to them, especially with the angelic reward coming up in +3/3 and flying. I don't think they had much of a chance, but I would have liked to see what they were all building up to at least. That would have been fun. Continue on to the next one. Like it. Okay, we've got a 1-drop, so we'll go ahead and put that down instead of the normal tap land. And Rapid Bite won't help me right now. Green Swarms, huh? Let's see. I want a banner. And I guess we'll do the white since we have more white creatures showing this time around. And I might as well attack. rapidly using the ram through now. See how they like that. They like it enough that they're not going to do anything. Only you have reach. And only I have lifelink. Mwahaha. They might be having land problems. If so, we can't gloat too much. We've been on the wrong side of that equation way too many times already. There you go. That may be too little too late. Remember, I got trampled from this, so jump blocking that didn't help as much as he thought it would, and no help there. This could be a problem, but we do have a sort of half removal spell in the ability to cast it. Let's see what we can make out of this. Got here, Sign of Stygia. But that didn't do any good because I don't control one. Okay. Okay, we don't have an enchantment yet, so we can't do anything even though we could summon him down. He would just be an easy target. So we're forced to wait. He's setting up quite nicely. Pesky little card draw already, huh?
Arts taught I don't even need a sword to win.
Well, my opponent seems to be getting plenty of stuff. I need something. I can use that to get rid of the Planeswalker, I guess.
Perhaps I need to study more.
Just not too promising right now. Already down to 9? Alright.
Those who follow their destiny
Can't have her attack.
nothing to fear.
She's gotta go. Felidar is at least gonna stay, so I'm gonna have someplace to exile her too.
Meddling.
You guys can kill my Planeswalker real quick, but I can't do much about that. Could have saved him.
Fate has forsaken me. The multiverse
Get the
provides me
Planeswalker
with
back.
fascinating new
That is lovely.
experiences.
You can go away, and you can also go away.
Return to your place, interloper.
I love that phrase. Interloper. Alright, we weathered the first assault. He's got to go reload. You can give your pacified guy menace all you want. We don't really care about that. Another Planeswalker. Say one.
Doesn't matter, dear. Ha! I've learned lots of techniques from artists.
So what else we got going on? Nothing. A big old whiff.
Clothis,
All right.
show me my path.
Practice makes potent.
That is good for me. If he hadn't done that, I would have had no reason to do that. Alright. What do we want to do? Oh, hang on. Banish the Planeswalker again.
Maybe I do need will.
A patterned future appears before me.
There we go. Easy come, easy go. I gotta remember all his creatures have haste, so I need a blocker. Excuse me. Interesting choice. He could have had 2 damage to me. I just get a creature back real quick.
Look skyward and receive the gifts of the gods.
If he has any big direct damage spells, I'm gonna die quick. Still just get 2 cards. Didn't like either of them. Maybe cycling through all of his lands. Okay, I guess we'll go ahead and get rid of one of these. Want to keep building up Destiny's Hand. That's kind of nice.
Show me my path.
But his creatures still have haste, so I still need to retain a blocker. My life is just too low to risk anything else. Go whiff there.
The stars will light our way.
Alright, well, let's give him a trample at least. There we go. I can attack when he has vigilance. Do I have any enchantments under here? Oh, I can bring back Elspeth and Destiny Spinner. Okay. Creature or land. I need the creature. I don't think I need the land. Let's reroll the creature. Bring the creature in. Attack with that creature. The nice thing is, although I can't use Angelic Guardian, I can still use your power, and my guys still become invulnerable. Sorry, indestructible when they attack. Okay, another enchantment's not really going to help you any. Is this all you had in your deck? Was you were counting on another Delina? A couple Planeswalkers in Delina? Okay. I'll just keep filling my hand.
I am blessed by Nyx.
Does that do it? I think that does it. Let's hear some enchantments. And all without the Setessan Champion. Or even the Great Henge. Thing I might be willing to do while I still have, you know, before the September rotation takes too many things away, I could put a Birth of Meletus in here. That could help us maybe get a planes out when we need to. It is another enchantment. Give me a 0/4 wall for a chump blocker. That could be useful for things like this. We're probably going to have a bunch of cheap creatures coming at us soon. Alright, let's see. 2, 3. What do I want to do? Let's push it. We've got a barrier breach. I can take care of those two. Ah, excellent. Okay. They thought they were setting up. Oh, that's an artifact, not an enchantment. Whoops. Yeah, well. Let's see. We'll put that into the top of our hand. We'll get more land later. Poker it is. Ooh. I like that. All right, what do we want to do? I think we want to do this. He could have gotten a third life from creating stuff with Ardenvel there. Oh well. let's see. I think what I want to do... Okay, I want to do this. Too late. Top, top. And just like that, I think it's too late for anything you're gonna do with this. And he knows it. And that's what happens when you get all of these different creatures, and they all work well with enchantments. One single enchantment got me a 2/2 Pegasus, got me a 1/1 token creature, got me 1/1 counter on him, and another card. That worked out lovely. That is the perfect demonstration of the deck. Sometimes it's nice you can get into a much longer drawn out game if they have some creatures set up, and maybe it takes you a while to get Citizen Champion set up, but usually once you do, especially if you get Great Henge and Citizen Champion together and just a little bit of creature protection, you can really start to cycle through your deck quite nicely and set up a nice little chain of drawing and adding counters. I'm not sure if we'll be able to do that anytime soon. A lot of what happens these days is the opponent is savvy enough to understand what's going to happen next, and he doesn't hang around for it anymore. So some of these extended plays are a little bit rarer than they used to be. This deck is not the most competitive. You know, it has few creatures that could stand for a few more chump blockers. Let's see, discard could probably do a couple things against it because you're holding on to your enchantments until you're ready to use them. What else can kill this deck? Well, of course, the small swarm decks that come at you really fast with cheap creatures can always get to you. And of course, you still have the problem of the occasional problem with land management. We've only got 23 lands. That's usually enough, actually, in my experience with this particular deck. But every now and then, it'll short you one, or it'll flood you out. You know, that's kind of a danger with every deck, it seems like these days, no matter how you try and manage it. But despite all that, it's a very fun deck to play with, especially when you start to get the Henge or Citizen Champion down and you get a couple of enchantments going. So I'll leave you with that. If you liked the video, press like. If you want to see what we do next, hit subscribe. And thank you for joining us. And just remember to come back, because there's always going to be another new deck right around the corner. Have a good one.